Good morning, everyone. It is a fresh Tuesday morning. And first of all, I just want to say cheers for tuning in again. Always brilliant to have you here. Now, what are we diving into today? Well, it is that time of the year. Award season is in full swing, and there's plenty to chat about, especially with quite a few Celtic players in the spotlight. Exciting times ahead, no doubt. We will also have a wee look at some of the lads currently at the club, maybe even have a wee natter about a potential new signing. And there is some unfortunate news regarding an injury that broke just yesterday. And it is something we absolutely need to go over thinking about how it could affect our plans moving forward. The big question lingering now is, will he be fit in time for that massive Champions League qualifier? We will get right into that. And of course, this weekend marks a big one, a derby day, and Celtic supporters will be making their return to Ibrox for the first time in years. It has been since back in 2018 that we last saw our fans in that Broomloan stand. So much to cover, so let us crack on, starting with the injury situation, because this one has really caught everyone's attention. Now, a trusted source dropped a report almost immediately after yesterday's video went live, stating that Celtic are about to confirm that the season is officially over for one of our key players. Just to jog your memory, he went off injured around the 32nd or 33rd minute mark in Saturday's match after a heavy collision. At first glance, it looked like it could have been an impact injury, maybe just a bad knock. But there is also the chance it was the way he landed or twisted something awkwardly. My gut feeling says it was more likely the landing that did the damage. You could see right away he was in a lot of pain. Despite the injury, he showed real spirit after the match, joining the celebrations on crutches, waving them about in a way that reminded many of a moment from a few years ago when another player did the same. It brought a smile to the faces even in a tough moment. The report suggests the injury is to the meniscus, that little bit of cartilage in the knee that can cause real bother when it goes wrong. If that is the case, it would rule him out for not just the rest of this season, but maybe even into the start of the next one. A couple of key dates for you to keep in mind. The Premiership kicks off the weekend of the 2nd and 3rd of August, and the Champions League playoff first legs are set for the 19th or 20th of August. By my rough count, that is about 16 weeks away. In theory, plenty of time for a recovery depending on the severity. It is still unclear if surgery will be needed or if they will manage it conservatively, but it is definitely a serious one. And you can bet Celtic will handle it with all the care it demands. Injuries like this are tricky, and if rushed, they can cause longer-term issues. I remember a few years back, a similar situation happened with another player. His injury lingered all season, and although he made a comeback for a crucial cup semi-final, he eventually needed surgery and missed the remainder of the season. When he returned, it did not quite click immediately, and he suffered another setback. That is the kind of thing the medical team will be keen to avoid this time around. Why am I going over all of this? Well, it just shows how these injuries need to be treated with the utmost caution, and thankfully, I am confident that is exactly what the club will do. In the immediate term, it is safe to assume we will not see him again this season. Sad as it is, it opens up opportunities for others. Looking ahead, the immediate beneficiary of this situation, if you want to call it that, looks to be Adam. He is expected to slot into the starting 11 more regularly now. Dias Maida should move back over to the left-hand side, where he has been a real handful for opponents recently. That shift should not disrupt us too much. It might even give a wee chance for players like H or lads like James Forrest and Hyunjun Yang to step up and stake a claim for the wing spots. Overall, I reckon we are still in good shape. We are also expecting to hear from Brendan Rodgers soon, hopefully through the club's TV channel. After clinching the title last weekend and with a derby on the horizon, there's plenty to talk about. It has been a few days since his last presser on Friday, so fingers crossed for an update today or tomorrow. As for J.A., the injured lad, it is a blow, no doubt, especially when we were all hoping he would have a full preseason and hit the ground running next term. Now it is about his recovery and making sure he is ready for the critical moments next season, particularly those early European ties. If not, then it is just another door opening for someone else to step up. And speaking of awards yesterday, we got the list of nominees for the PFA Scotland Awards, and it is fair to say Celtic are well represented. 3 of the 4 nominees for Premiership Player of the Year are our own players, which is quite a statement. It does not happen often. Normally, you would maybe get 2 from the same team, but 3. That is special. To be honest, you could have made a case for 4 Celtic players being nominated, but fair play to Simon Murray from Dundee. He has bagged 20 goals across all competitions, which is no mean feat for a lad from Dundee. Our nominees are Callum McGregor, Deus Maida, and Nicholas. Solid choices, every one of them. I was a bit surprised, mind you, that Kasper Schmeichel did not make the shortlist. Given the impact he had when he came in and how he steadied the ship, you would think he would get a nod. But maybe the fact he missed a month or so with injury and his form dipped slightly after the new year counted against him. Still no complaints with the boys that did get the recognition. Callum has been as usual. Dependable self-leading by example, and Nicholas did more than enough in the first half of the season to warrant the shout. If you're asking me who is going to win it though, I would say Deus Maida is the clear favorite. Even Callum McGregor hinted at that yesterday when he was asked about it. He admitted he voted for Simon Murray because, as it turns out, you are not allowed to vote for a teammate. Makes sense when you think about it, otherwise votes would just pile up internally at clubs. Callum was full of praise for Simon Murray, saying he deserved recognition for an outstanding season. The nominees for Young Player of the Year are Ari Engels Hamza Egerman from Rangers, James Wilson from Hearts, and Lennon Miller from Motherwell. With all the buzz around Lennon Miller lately, you would have to fancy him as the front-runner. On the women's side, Emma Lorden from Celtic is up for the SWPL Player of the Year. She's competing against Ayad Adams from Hibs and Katie Wilkinson. Brilliant to see her getting that nod as well. Now you might be thinking, do I really care about the individual awards? And I get it. Honestly, it does not move the needle much for me either. Winning trophies is what matters. Sure, it is nice to get recognized, and Deus Maida fully deserves it, but at the end of the day, these awards do not change anything tangible for the team. It is a nice pat on the back, but nothing more. Our attention is already shifting to Sunday's derby. The lads are back at Lennoxtown after a few days off celebrating the title win. There was a bit of banter going around, like one of the boys dressing up his dog and calling him our little champion. Honestly, I reckon that should earn a wee fine from the dressing room, but it has given everyone a chuckle. I even saw a few brilliant puns flying about. Mutt O'Reilly, Ken O'Delich bark crows. You get the picture. Good bit of crack to lighten. The mood ahead of a massive match. Sunday's game means a lot. Some folks say, we have already won the league, so who cares? But that is not how it works. Losing derbies stings no matter what else you have achieved. We have not lost all of them this season, but if we were to lose again on Sunday, that would make it 3 without a win, and that would definitely leave a sour taste. Winning a treble would still be incredible, of course, but it is human nature to fixate on the big moments you wish had gone differently. That is why Sunday matters. Looking across at the situation facing the other lot, it is funny really. Week by week, you can see the disillusion growing among their former players and fans alike. While we keep ticking along, winning games, scoring goals, keeping standards sky high, they seem to be stuck in a bit of a spiral, getting more and more frustrated with how things have gone off the rails for them. And yet, despite that, we still need to go out there on Sunday and get the job done. Because in football, it is never enough to rely on the opponent's weakness. You need to impose yourself, set the tone, and make sure you leave no doubt about who the better team is. And this weekend, we will have a real boost with a proper section of Celtic fans back at Ibrox for the first time in years. As we touched on before, it has been since 2018 since our supporters had a proper allocation over there in the Broomloan stand. For this match, around 4% of the stadium is being handed to us, which works out at roughly 2,000 tickets. That figure was confirmed by the club's supporter liaison officer earlier in the week. It might not sound like much, and compared to the good old days, it is a small allocation, but it will still make a difference. You will definitely hear the Celtic support loud and clear on the broadcast, and you can bet some people would not be too happy seeing the green and white back in Ibrox. Those lucky enough to have a ticket will need to get there early, probably a few hours before kickoff, same as it was when the roles were reversed at Celtic Park a few weeks back. Then visiting fans were expected to be inside by 10 o'clock for a 12:30 start. Would not be surprised if the same rules apply this time around. The SLO has mentioned that more details will be coming soon regarding the arrangements, but we can safely assume it will be strict. Entry procedures, timing designated routes, all tightly controlled to keep everything as smooth as possible. It is just one of those realities we deal with nowadays. Still, the important part is that our fans will be there singing their hearts out and giving the team that extra push. There is no denying it adds another layer of excitement to the occasion. A derby always carries weight, but when you have your own supporters in the ground, it feels that bit more real. Some folk have argued back and forth about the rights and wrongs of away fans at these fixtures, but honestly, the game is better for it. Celtic need to be at Ibrox with our supporters behind them. Rangers need to come to Celtic Park with their supporters too. That is just how it should be. Football thrives on that back and forth. There have been some interesting comments floating around too about how despite everything, Rangers still managed to win the match that mattered most. That is a reference to their cup win earlier this season. Fair enough. Trophies are what we play for, but let us not kid ourselves overall. Consistency, winning the league, setting standards over the full season that matters just as much, if not more. And there's only one way to silence the chat. Go to Ibrox and win. If we do that, it validates everything this squad has built this season. It sends a message that regardless of a one-off cup result, the real strength lies here at Celtic. That is the motivation the team need to tap into. It should not be about anger or revenge. It should be about pride, professionalism, and the sheer determination to show who we are. There is real hope that the mentality inside the Celtic dressing room matches what the fans are feeling, because make no mistake, the hunger to put things right is strong amongst the support. The players need to channel that energy and take it onto the pitch. We have clinched the title already, and that is brilliant, but you do not rest on your laurels. At Celtic, you push, you demand more of yourself. I think back to Brendan Rodgers' first spell in charge, and one example sticks out clearly. After winning a cup final, the team had a league match a few days later. They drew it, and the performance was poor. Some players thought it was acceptable after lifting a trophy. Rodgers made it very clear that at Celtic, it is never acceptable to slack off. Every game matters. Every standard needs to be met. That attitude is part of what makes Celtic great. So while we can enjoy winning the league, there is still work to do. There is still pride to defend. There is still history to be made. Meanwhile, tonight there is actually another derby happening. The youth teams of Celtic and Rangers are facing off in a cup final. It is set to kick off at 7 o'clock this evening. It will be shown live on Celtic TV and also on Premier Sports. Unfortunately, no fans are allowed at the match in Firhill, which is a shame, but understandable given the history between the two sides and the desire to avoid any trouble. It is a big night for the young lads, and for many of them, it could be a real stepping stone moment, winning against your biggest rivals, lifting a trophy. It is the stuff dreams are made of when you're coming through the ranks. But back to the senior side and Sunday's task at hand. There's a lot at stake emotionally. A derby win at Ibrox would cap off an already brilliant season with a proper exclamation point. And there's a sense that it could set the tone heading into next season too, keeping momentum high and confidence flowing. Because if we are being honest, nobody wants to go into the summer break with that nagging feeling of missed opportunities. It is always better to go out on a high, and that is exactly what is on offer this Sunday. The players know what is expected. The fans know what is needed. Now, it is just a case of going out there and delivering. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a move that has sent waves of excitement through the Celtic support, Billy Gilmour has officially confirmed his arrival at Parkhead. The young Scottish midfielder, long touted as one of the brightest talents of his generation, announced his decision earlier today, sparking scenes of jubilation across the Celtic faithful. After weeks of speculation and hopeful whispers among the supporters, the news they had been yearning for is finally reality. Gilmore, who honed his craft at Rangers before making his mark down south with Chelsea and later Brighton, will now don the famous green and white hoops, returning home to Scotland to embrace a new chapter in his career. For many, Gilmore's signing represents more than just another talented addition to the squad. It symbolizes a deeper connection to the club's proud traditions of nurturing Scottish talent and playing a brand of football steeped in creativity, grit, and passion. His technical brilliance, keen eye for a pass, and relentless work rate have already earned him international acclaim, and now he arrives at Celtic with the opportunity to elevate his game even further under the bright lights of paradise. Supporters have taken to social media in their thousands, hailing the move as a statement of ambition from the club and dreaming of the midfield maestro pulling the strings on those famous European nights at Celtic Park. In his first interview as a Celtic player, Gilmore expressed his own excitement and eagerness to get started, acknowledging the scale of the club and the passion of its supporters. He spoke of his desire to win silverware and help drive Celtic to even greater heights, a message that will no doubt endear him even further to a fan base always hungry for success. The Parkhead stands are sure to be rocking when Gilmore makes his debut with expectations high, but spirits even higher. In a summer that's already shaping up to be pivotal for the Hoops, the arrival of Billy Gilmour feels like a thunderous rallying cry. Celtic mean business, and with one of Scotland's finest young talents now among their ranks, the future looks brighter than ever. Hello fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.